Hello again, everyone. Thank you for joining me this Saturday, July 17th, 2021, on Adm Quotes Life Stories. This is officially podcast 1 of the Adm QLS series. I had other ideas for this week's podcast, but I feel that this subject, considering recent events, takes precedence. My other subjects and the like can wait until next week. To explain, several people close to me have come into bad news in the last couple weeks. They have lost loved ones, and their families are having difficulty adjusting to their loss. I don't know about any of you, but it fills me with sorrow when other people are suffering. It also makes it that much harder to look at the world and not be disheartened, not just by the deaths that occur every single day, but also the sheer amount of passings amidst COVID-19. So today, I'm starting us off with the following quote by Jack Thorne. "Those we love never truly leave us. There are things that death cannot touch." So let's talk about life relative to this quote. I think that it is a very true and beautiful sentiment, even if it is about something as bittersweet as death. On one hand, you lose something or someone who has impacted your life, and on the other, you know that they aren't subject to the pain or sorrows of everyday life anymore. This is a truly difficult place to be in, especially when we want to be happy for someone we have lost, but we are left to deal with the fact that we will never hear their voice again, smile. After all, loss is never truly equal. But what I appreciate most about this quote is that Thorne seems like someone who knows that one of the best ways to deal with the worst things in life is by finding silver linings. Because one of the most truths about death is that when you lose someone, it doesn't erase their existence. That is a light death cannot touch. That person you loved, they still lived and likely made ripples in this big sea of life that we cannot even begin to fathom. Maybe they once gave money to a homeless family, and because of that moment, they were able to live. Maybe it changed that family's life. Maybe they taught you how to laugh when you felt like crying. There are big things, there are small things, there are things in between, and the list goes on. The fact of the matter is that we may never know the exact circumstances by which the people we have lost have changed a moment in time, someone's life or the world. Perhaps we won't ever fully understand why they died. It could be complicated, it could be simple. It could be that it was simply their time to stop fighting the battles and wars waging on behind closed doors for them. It's my opinion that questions like those, like these, aren't really something for us to speculate. Asking these questions will never lead to an answer, and even if they did, we may never find the answer satisfactory. Any love or kindness your loved one showed you and whatever you gave in return doesn't mean less when they're gone. So what is going to matter more is that you acknowledge that they ever lived, that you remember that their place in your life doesn't simply dissipate because you can't see them anymore. You continue to live your life after they're gone, continue to be true to yourself, minimize your regrets, and, find joy in the dark places. That's how you honor those you lose. The most difficult things in life are never easy, but they can be debilitating, but they can also be overcome. I'm not telling you that this will heal all of your heartache. Those things take time, and unfortunately, it isn't within my power to reach out and grapple your sorrows and your pains. I mean, I would if I could, but apparently, I wasn't cool enough to be blessed with that type of ability. However, let this podcast serve as a reminder that whoever you would have likely spent more time focused on silver linings and living life differently if they knew their lives were coming to an end. They likely didn't know or want to leave you behind, but in my experience, no one on their deathbeds have had a prevalent wish than for the people they love to be happy long after they are gone. And that kind of thing is really important. And well, I do apologize for the more solemn content of our first official QLS podcast, but I hope that you all can find your silver linings. I hope that you can recognize that your loved ones still live beyond the bounds of their physical forms that have returned to the earth. More than that, I wish you love, peace, and boundless light that even the darkness can't touch. Whew. Hard not to let the weird out. I feel a little bit better now. Thanks again for joining me this podcast Saturday. And I guess that wraps this up. See you next week. I could use a few puns right now to lighten things up. Puns are fun. Oh, I love puns. I usually say puns are punny. Okay, I'm sorry. But no, really, are there puns about death? Would that be totally in bad taste considering the content of this podcast? Yeah, I don't know. Anywho, as always, you can contact me via my website at admcreations.com or send an email my way at admauthorcreations@gmail.com. Both of those are with an S. Check out my website for book updates, blogs, and more. Hope to see